Boy, this whole like Joe Rogan debate between Dave Smith and that other dude has really riled up a lot of the former intellectuals. The intellectual dark web is now plotting to take out Joe Rogan, according to James Lindsay. I don't know if you even know or care who that is. He was relevant like 10 years ago, and now he's just melting down every day online because no one really cares what he has to say anymore. Maybe at one point he was a hero in the kind of anti-SJW era, but I don't really know what's going on. And all of this comes because they didn't like how a debate went, but ultimately what has come to the surface from weirdos like Sam Harris and James Lindsay and etc. is because they don't like who Joe Rogan, quote unquote, platforms. They haven't liked it for years, and now they're going to use it to take him out. I know that's laughable. Leave a like on the video if you also laughed, but this is what they're planning. This is what they're alluding to right online out in the public. So let's take a look at their idiocy. A huge shout out to Meta PCs, promo code The Quartering. They are my PC sponsor. They're only computer I've ever used. You save money on your computer. They have ready to ship PCs, custom PCs, laptops, everything like that. That's all that I use. It's all that I recommend. Link in the description. And also to our Mother's Day gift boxes, where I hope you'll pick yours up. Mother's Day is just 1 month away, but I need to get to a couple hundred reviews before big buying season. So I definitely need some great husbands or boyfriends or wives or daughters or sisters to pick theirs up early, and then when they get it, to come back and please leave a verified review. Once you buy it, once you receive it, write a customer review. Definitely need to get up to a couple hundred there, so I need your help. Plus, your mom or your girlfriend or your sister-in-law, your sister would all love this gift. People, like, we have 4.9 stars. The only negative review is some leftoid that left a fake review who didn't even buy the product. This from Cernovich. The intellectual dark web are planning to, quote, take out Joe Rogan. According to James Lindsay, who only has a platform because Joe Rogan built Sam Harris and Eric Weinstein up when they were irrelevant nobodies. Here's what he wrote. From everything I'm hearing, the people who don't live on social media, the only loser of the, quote, debate was Joe Rogan. Maybe he's Teflon, but I think he's being taken out, and that Douglas was one of his last lifelines. Taken out? Like, you're joking, right? These people are so delusional. You see this, again, here.
The podcast thing, right? My party.
This is the left. The left is, they've been talking, oh, we need a Joe Rogan of the left. We need a Joe Rogan of the left. There is no such thing as a Joe Rogan of the left. It's impossible. You used to have Joe Rogan on the left. Even Pete Baby Buying Booty Judge admits it.
He's all up in arms about who's our Joe Rogan. We're not going to have a Joe Rogan of the left. That's not how it works.
It's also not something you can conjure
exactly
in the way that, they just think, oh, let's inorganically build this thing. Those positions have been built over time, and they've earned their credibility, and they've earned their authenticity, and they've earned all those things that they have. You can't just poof them into existence.
That's right. Well, but we also, where they are there and where they are willing to give us a hearing, we should show up. Same as I made a habit of showing up on Fox News, right?
Right.
I think we're really struggling to find people where they are.
And by the way, very impactful when you show up in spaces
Not
and
really.
articulate something that it almost feels novel to them.
Exactly.
To hear it laid out in that way.
Exactly. I could say something. I could be the 10th person to say roughly the same thing on a liberal show, or I could literally be the first time somebody heard a certain idea. If I'm in,
they still want basically to get rid of Joe Rogan. He says, according to James Lindsay, that was the first part of their plan. Now they are planning to, quote, take out Joe Rogan because he didn't obey. This is because Cernovich put, the pro-Israel side lost the left badly and irreparably. The plan appears to be go on Joe Rogan, throw a tantrum, finger wag, insult his audience for him inviting on, quote, undesirables, call everyone anti-Semites. Great effing job, boys. Keep up. It'll definitely work. They've been mauling since I keep getting told that like they won this debate and that it was such an easy win, and Dave Smith looked like an idiot. And I do think that both sides made good points, except only one side was calling for censorship. And that's why I don't really want to hear a lot of, what their side had to say. It's because when you come on and you finger wag and you use words like, you're platforming the wrong people or this, that, or the other thing, it's crazy. Here's the actual tweet. I can't believe it went up. I don't really know. Again, maybe he's Teflon, but I think he's being taken out, and that Douglas was one of his last. Taken out? But from who? The entirety of the mainstream media couldn't cancel him. Oh no, is Sam Harris and his Trump derangement syndrome not going to appear on the Joe Rogan Experience? I think the world will be fine. The most popular episodes Joe Rogan has ever done has been with President Trump or Elon Musk. I think he's got one other one I can't remember too that's pretty popular, but I don't think it was a political person. And he's like, maybe I know what's going on. It's unfortunate because I really like Joe Rogan. This is the delusion they're living in. He might not be getting taken out so much as he just got lazy on who he brings on. Platforming Nazi apologists and anti-Semites totally turned me off. He's going down the route of Tucker. He writes, I think it's absolutely preposterous to believe that after he helped swing the coof and the last election, that he doesn't have intelligence around him trying to get him to undermine himself. Literally what? Do people who do not live on social media even watch or listen to Joe Rogan? No. I mean, this is taken out. He's self-employed by who? What is, I don't even understand who these taken out. Some of the best like takes on this too is this guy here.
So I'm doing my
shout out Bruce Fenton,
research as we experts do, and I find that Mr. Murray, known Islamophobe, has been speaking about Saudi Arabia, and it has come to my attention that he's never been. And so,
oh no!
My question to you, Mr. Murray, you've never been? You've never been to Saudi Arabia? You're opining on a topic whilst never having been there? Oh dear, good sir, I say. I thought you went to Oxford. Are you not an expert? How dare you opine on a place you haven't even had the courtesy to visit?
That's how they sounded. And you see, like, again, this 17th, the pro-Israel side lost the left so badly. I mean, I don't know. I'm neither pro or against. I don't want them to have any influence in our government, just like Qatar, just like any foreign government. And people keep saying, like, you continue to yap about this podcast nearly a week later while Murray posts the presidential recommendation of his new book. Okay. Like, the left is still, I mean, this article's, Joe Rogan scolded by his own guest. Booty Judge says the left will never have its own Joe Rogan. That's not how it works. All of this is fallout. This is an article from yesterday on Outkick. Joe Rogan guest further humiliated with damning video after absurd debate. Uh-oh. Well, I like that video. What's the oh yeah, here again, the hypocrisy. Now, I don't have anything against Douglas Murray. I don't care for people who are talking about who can and who can't talk. So here's, 8 minutes here. He says, why can't we just agree with my counter arguments to the points they didn't make? Here's a straw man counter.
People who have appointed themselves experts who are not experts.
You mean like Ian? I don't think he appoints himself an expert in anything.
Who's that other dude who thinks he's an expert on Churchill?
Oh,
another
Daryl
straw man.
Cooper
Yeah.
does not think he's an expert.
Well, I'm not capable of debating this historian, but I'm going to just tell you what I think.
Yeah, but that's not
I think that's a
exactly
little
that's
bit
not
out of
exactly what
context.
Daryl was saying.
When he was offered to debate the current greatest living biographer of Churchill, he said, I can't, because he knows much more than me, and I admire his work and I've learned from it. But
It's not just straw men, it's that he's lying. And then you have this one, Douglas Murray versus Douglas Murray on lived experience. This is just a minute, but I want to play it out because it's, again,
Have you been to the crossing points?
I really resent that form of argumentation.
When were you last there at all?
Sure.
I really resent it.
You should at least do the courtesy of visiting it.
This is not an attractive invitation.
I think it's a good idea to see stuff, particularly if you
Okay.
spend a career talking about something.
I have the right to talk about whatever the hell I want.
Whoops.
And no one's going to stop me or try to intimidate me. And I think that if I said to somebody else the other way around, it would be equally reprehensible.
I have a journalistic rule of trying never to talk about a country even in passing unless I've at least been there.
If I said, shut up, you have no right to criticize anything that Douglas Murray says because...
Hang on, you're talking about crossing points. And not only have you never been to a crossing point in either Egypt or in Israel, but you've never even been to the region.
Okay, it's not an exact comparison, but seriously, is that a reasonable form of argument? No. In that case, nobody can talk about anything. We might as well pack up, go home, and isolate ourselves.
If you're insisting that you're an expert of some kind, or not claiming you're an expert, but still talking about it, if you've never seen any of this going on.
I mean, there are some people who've written about there are people who've written about the Holocaust who didn't experience the Holocaust and have written about it better than people who did.
But that is a different matter from spending.
I mean, again, I don't have anything. I'm not an in-depth, Douglas Murray guy. I generally don't care what people from other countries have to say about what's going on in my own country, just like you wouldn't either. If you're in Canada or the UK, you don't really care what Americans have to say about that. So I don't really care what this, guy and his husband have to say about whatever. But again, in what world are they going to take out Joe Rogan? I mean, is James Lindsay just so pathetic now? I mean, this guy's got 600,000 followers, and he posted this, a minute ago, but here he posted this 18 minutes ago. It's 20 likes. He spends all day on Twitter essentially coping and seething about a debate that happened days ago and desperately trying to gaslight people into thinking it went a different way. I don't think either side, quote unquote, won that debate, but I do think that only one side tried to tone police and say who's allowed to talk about certain things. And to me, that means they automatically lost. I don't know what happened to James Lindsay, but he's certainly fallen far from grace. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. Don't forget promo code TheQuartering over at Meta PCs and the Coffee Brand Coffee Mother's Day gift box, which is linked in the description down below. And we'll talk to you again real soon.